The Pistons are the basketball champions of the world.
Detroit, it's time. It's playoff time, Detroit. Let's go to work.
Shout out Detroit. I got to buff up, you know what I'm saying? Detroit, I'm all the way in. Detroit Pistons, I'm all the way in. Let's do it.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Buff Sun Podcast. We are the best POD in 313. We got the wings to review today. We did the guards last week. We're on to the wings this week. We got Ausar, Tech, THJ, and then we got the rookies, Clintman and Holland. We're going to start off with Ausar. That would be probably the most interesting guy of all these guys we're going to go over today because a lot hinges on Ausar's season this year. So going back to last season, his season was cut short due to a blood clot injury while he was locking up Luka Doncic. In 63 games last year, Ausar averaged 8.8 points, 6.4 boards, 1.9 assists, 48.3 from the field, 18.6% from three to go as 59.7% from the line, and an effective field goal percentage of 50.5. I took a look at Ausar's shot chart. I mentioned it before we started recording. There's one big green blob around the rim, and then pretty much everywhere else is X's. It looks like he's more efficient from the left corner than the right corner, but we need to see some more consistency from behind the arc with Ausar. And then if we go month by month with how he shot the three ball, I don't really count October because I think we started like October 18th, so I don't really count that. He went like 1 for 7, then he goes like 4 for 17. Hold on, I have it pulled up right here. He
4 for 28.
Yeah, 4 for 28. Thank you, man. Thank you. 4 for 28, 4 for 24, 2 for 17, 5 for 17. And then it got a little bit better towards the end with the last 2 months, 5 for 17 and 5 for 20. But I think we've all touched on it ever since the hiring of Fred Vinson. Ausar is going to need to get that number up. I'd like to see it. He finished 18%. I want to see it at least above 20 at the very, very least. I think 23 to 25 is probably realistic. Anything above that would kind of be exceeding my expectations. If he shot the three as well as Killian Hayes did during his tenure in Detroit, I'd consider it a success. But Valley, you're first on my screen. What are you expecting from Ausar Thompson this season?
More the same, to be honest. I'm not expecting a massive growth from the 3-point shot. I am expecting some growth in terms of percentage, but in terms of volume, I'm not really expecting more attempts from him, really. I'm expecting him to do more of the same things. And with the improved spacing, I think we always talk about how that will help Cade, how that'll help Ivy, but I think it'll help Ausar as well. I think he's a really smart cutter. Watching Killian Hayes start with him and like try to do those backdoor cuts, it just seemed to kind of like overflow and overlap in backdoor cuts. I think if we have that one, like, I don't want to say designated backdoor cutter, but for the most part, like a lot of his buckets are going to be drop offs, dump offs, him finishing from that dunker spot, like you said with the shot chart. There will be a few shots from the corners, I'm sure. I hope nowhere else other than the corners, because I feel like when he took like a top of the key or a wing 3-pointer, it's like just like any shot, he would airball by like 4 feet. Like I swear to God, that's insane. But I'm just expecting more finishing at the rim. I really don't see like a huge, massive increase in point production. I just see a lot more finishes at the rim, improved spacing to allow him to cut because he's one, like we talk about Ivy being one of the most athletic players in the NBA in terms of like just sheer speed and verticality, but like Asar's right up there with him, especially in terms of verticality. Um, I expect around double-digit points. I expect a lot of rebounds. I expect a lot of steals and blocks, and a guy who just likes to go and get dirty.
Yeah, I mean, and another guy that we're going to talk about later that's a great cutter is Bobby Clintman. But for now, Connie, your thoughts on Ausar this upcoming season?
I mean, yeah, Valley really nailed it. Like, am I expecting really any major changes? I think major changes, like maybe some slight increase in shooting percentages. But I think just the way that the team is structured, like Valley said, is much more conducive to his success now. Um, I'm expecting more playing time. I I don't know how you guys feel about that. I know we're leaning towards we have more shooters on this team, so there might be less spots for him to be, but there was like a
Do,
good deal of time last season where Monty just benched this dude and like did not give him the minutes. You guys think his minutes go up or down from last year? Do you have the minutes per game in front of you?
He was at, give me 1 second.
I feel like he played a lot of games with big minutes, and then there was kind of like it was kind
He
of
was
one or
at,
the
yeah,
other. Like you're playing.
he was at 25 on average.
I think it'll be right
Um,
around then.
I'll see a slight increase, but I don't think he'll go over 30,
I agree.
just because we have like
Yeah.
a lot of players, like you said. Like where will those minutes come from? What does that mean? I mean, we have so many questions about our lineup. Does that mean like Ron Holland isn't playing? Does that mean for sure Clintman isn't playing? Does that mean Harris will get the same amount of minutes? I think there's just a lot of questions about that.
Something I am a little worried about, I guess you could say, is like last year, rookie season. I guess you could say as the year goes along, teams have more footage and more scouting on him. But here, second year, there is a lot more scouting and like knowledge of the way that he plays the game. And our team's going to be more attentive towards those offensive rebounds because he got so many points like crashing the glass or making those cuts. Our team's going to be more schematic about it. Are they going to box out harder? I've been playing pickup basketball with a guy who plays a lot like Ausar Thompson. He's a guard. He's actually an Instagram dunker. Check him out, Darius Ragland. He throws down some pretty cool stuff. Um, but I've noticed that he becomes a lot less effective when every single time the ball goes up, I smash him with my butt and I box him out. There's a whole lot less points on the board. So our team's going to be looking at Asar the same way. Are they like, we can cut off this man's main form of offense by just boxing out and being more like attentive to it? Or is he going to find like continue to find the crevices in defenses?
Yeah,
I
that'll be another. Yeah, go ahead.
I think he will continue to find it because last year we didn't have a single threat, and the only threat was offensive rebounds. So teams already knew they can't shoot. The only thing we have to do is stop them from just grinding us down. This year, theoretically, I think we all agree that he probably won't start, right? If Fontecchio and Harris are at the 3-4. What I'd really like to see is kind of what Amin Thompson did for the Rockets once Şengün went down last year. He came into the starting lineup, which Ausar won't do, but he kind of played like the small ball five, which we've talked a lot of. Just for him to be that roller vertical spacer, if him and Stu were coming off the bench, I think we even said Stu can play the five defensively and then offensively let Ausar play the five and do these handoffs, short rolls. He's an incredible passer, incredible defender. So I think he's gonna have a really good season. I don't think that 3-point percentage is going to climb above like 25%. But I also think he'll take less threes. Like a lot of the game plan last year was for him to stand in the corner and take threes because that's all Monty knew what to do. So I think he's going to take less threes or same amount, but it's like less percentage of his shots and be more of a five on offense. And I think that's where he'll really start to find his groove. He reminds me a little bit of Herb Jones. He also had a disgusting jump shot in college, kind of long, lengthy defender. And if Fred Vincent can change his jump shot to what it is today, then maybe there's hope. But yeah, I expect a good season. I'm high on Ausar. A
As am
really
I.
good season. Yeah.
As am I. And if he can fix Lonzo Ball's jump shot, I think he can fix almost anybody's jump shot. But as we round up this segment, what number are you expecting to increase this season more likely? Would it be his assist numbers or his 3-point percentage? I'm gonna go with I'd like more than 1.9 assists from Ausar this season. I think we've talked about it on the show before how like me personally I'd like to see Ausar maybe with a little bit more ability to pass the ball. So hopefully we see a little bit more of that. But curious to see what you guys think. Would you be more opposed to him shooting more threes or more on ball?
Could you read out his straight up stats, just the basics real
last
quick
year
if you have them? Yeah.
he was 8.8 points, 6.4 rebounds, 1.9 assists, and he shot 18.6% from the 3-point line.
And steals and blocks. I feel like his blocks were pretty high, right?
His blocks
That
are
might be
0.9.
0.9.
Yeah. And I think steals are like 1.1.
Yes, sir.
I like the assist answer, and if it plays into my short roll playmaking type of dream for him, I could see that at like 3.5 maybe.
I'm all about it. I'm all
Yeah.
about it. And we talked about how we want more Ausar arcade pick and rolls too. So with him playing the five on offense, hopefully we get more of that too.
Either that or blocks. I think he'll get up to 1.5 blocks, which is less, but it's a smaller stat, so it's the
Fair,
percentage of the change.
fair.
I want to say assists. I see no reason why he can't get 3 to 4 assists a game. I think he does have that ability. However, I think it comes back to quite frankly, we don't know if he's going to start. We have added a lot of wings to this team and a lot of shooting to this team, and it depends on what Bickerstaff is looking for in a rotation. So I want to say assists. I do see that possibility for him, but at the same time, I don't know if that opportunity will be there as much. So honestly, give me that 3 point percentage. 18 is ridiculous, man. You
Yeah.
got to be a little better than that.
What,
I
what do you
agree.
think then?
What'd you say?
I said Gabe said, "What do you think?" I said I agree because 18% is laughable and just can't continue to be the
It's
3 point
actually
percentage that he
18.6, so 19%.
so 19% is laughable and cannot be the percentage that he goes forward with, so that has to increase. Whereas the playmaking, like Valley said, if he has a little smaller role with the other guys out there, I
How
also think
about
a 3-pointer. And give me 24.
how about this? I have a different stat, and it's more so a measurement that I expect to increase the most. Pounds.
Hmm.
You're gonna play that big role, I mean, obviously every player comes into the league, smaller than they end up, and it's gonna be a long process, but get bigger, man. He's a pretty skinny guy. I mean, strong as hell, but get some meat on those bones. I think he can really be more legitimate as that of what we see him as, that 5 on offense as the roller. But also defensively, check that would make him guard 1 through 4. I feel like if he put a significant amount of weight on over time.
Yeah, and James Edwards, Omar Sankofa, Bryce Simon, they all said that Ausar looked a lot stronger when they saw him at Summer League. So there is that. Any other notes on Ausar before we move into Tech?
He play,
If
I mean, all defensive team
I was
considerations. Hot.
just about to ask. I was just about to ask if the
That's a good
minutes are
question.
consistent. Does he make all defense?
Minutes are
We
consistent.
know
Yes.
he has the aspirations to do so, but
I
you're a
mean,
Piston, man. It ain't happening. You're in Detroit.
Yeah, I don't think so,
They
but
gotta be good.
Zach Lowe always says that these awards come a year after you earn the recognition. So if this is the year that people start talking about it, then next year he's in
I
there
like
running.
that.
that's fair. And I'm excited to see how he holds up against guys that like he did last year, the Shays, the Lucas. So hopefully we get a full season of Ausar Thompson. But for now, we will have to wait and see. And we're going to move into segment 2.